Attica, Greece is currently counting its wounds from the devastating storm that left 1 dead in Glyifada and extensive damage. Geology professor Efthimios Lekkas referred to why such extensive destruction occurred in Ano Glyfada. The first light of day revealed major devastation in Glyifada, which was transformed into a bombed-out landscape by yesterday's downpour. The strong torrents, during the night, carried away debris, resulting in cars, roads, sidewalks, and house entrances being buried under stones and soil that have even formed mountains. Crews and citizens have taken to the streets with shovels and tools in order to save their property. Roads in areas of Glyifada were turned into rushing rivers, sweeping away everything in their path due to the severe bad weather that is hitting the country. According to residents' testimonies, the images are unprecedented, as buckets were swept away by the raging waters, as well as parked cars that began to move uncontrollably. As time passes, the situation becomes increasingly dangerous as the volume of water increases. At the same time, there are reports of power outages in the area. Videos circulating on social media captured the extent of the destruction, as roads are impassable, carrying water and debris. It is worth noting that the area has received months' worth of rain in just a few hours. According to data from the meteorological stations of the National Observatory of Athens/meto.gr, almost 100 millimeters of rain have fallen in the wider area from midnight to 7:30 p.m. Firefighters and the EKAB immediately mobilized to free the woman. Despite the rescuers' efforts, the 56-year-old was pulled out unconscious and pronounced dead. The tragic incident adds to the long list of problems that bad weather has caused in Attica, with flooding, closed roads, and serious incidents in many areas. Authorities are calling on citizens to avoid unnecessary travel and to follow the instructions of the civil protection, as the intense phenomena continue to create dangerous conditions on roads and streams. Residents of Ano Glyfada were confronted with images of destruction this morning, Thursday, where a 56-year-old woman lost her life yesterday when, while on foot, she was swept away by rushing waters and trapped under a vehicle. According to them, this is not the first time that the area has been hit by major floods. A typical case was in 2009, when, after the fire in Hymettus in the summer of that year, the heavy rainfall that followed in the winter brought large quantities of water to the streets. As they report, since the mountain burned, there is nothing to prevent the rushing waters, along with stones and other debris, something that is also reflected in today's images. They add, moreover, that the blocked streams in the area are also worsening the situation. On some streets, such as Attica Street, parked cars have been covered in mud, stones, and rubble that accompanied the rushing waters. Residents are trying to free them with shovels, while in many cases teams from insurance companies have already arrived to make initial assessments of the damage. Problems from the heavy rainfall and strong storms occurred in many areas of the basin. However, the greatest problems are faced by Glyifada, Vari, Vula, Vuliagmini, from where the fire department received the most calls. Meanwhile, in France, Finistère remains under an orange flood warning this Thursday, January 22nd. In Quimperlé, the Laïta River overflowed its banks yesterday, flooding the Quai Brizeux, among other areas. A new flood peak is expected this morning around 8:30 a.m. Nearly 10 people had to be evacuated by firefighters this morning. The water level began to recede around 10:15 a.m. Despite the receding waters, the quays in Quimperlé will remain flooded all day before the expected arrival of reinforcements this evening. The prefect is on site this afternoon. A press conference is expected this afternoon. As the floodwaters began to recede around 10 a.m., firefighters promptly left the Brizeux quay in Quimperlé. A total of 9 people were evacuated. 5 others chose to remain in their first-floor apartments. Firefighters indicated that a return to normal is not expected before Sunday. A significant and rapid rise in water levels has been observed in Quimperlé, Lower Town. The peak of the flood is expected in the morning, between 8:30 a.m. and 11 o'clock a.m., announces the prefect of Finistère. Significant flooding is underway in the city center, Quai Surcouf, and Quai Brizeux, Place Louvignan, the cinema parking lot, Rue Raymond Dars. Access to the city center is currently impossible. People are asked to avoid the area so as not to hinder the work of the emergency services.